My blind. Yeah. I'm praying for the invite.
Yeah. But if it doesn't happen, so like let's say they have like their main casters going through, being in North America,
Ooh.
yeah, screw it, let's just go live. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start things off finally here. So for CLG, we got GDM, Tarek, Little Man, FNS, and Cutler. And for threes up, Professor Chaos, of course known as PC in this map. Wabbit, Abe, Arya, and Jason are on T side. And let's look at this setup here. So we're going for a stack more towards the outside. The boost for a Z-shaped hallway to try to spot an aggressive push towards the outside for CLG. But looks like threes up are working slowly in here, Lunders.
Yeah, PC actually running all the way across upper hall as it looks like, and the bomb is not really nearby. It seems like they want to cause a rotation to make it at least 2-3, which it already is, and that'll feed into the fear that maybe CLG have. And here's the fake coming out. With the bomb looking like it's about to split outer with ladder.
Yeah, interesting as well as they have that smoke to try to sell that fake, and then they're going for that raid boss to move towards the outside. Now still with Professor Chaos, spots one coming out towards that Z-shape. Oh, gets that dink, gets the kill onto JDM, gets that double kill, and just like that, it was a 4 versus 1, and Arya picks up the last one. And despite a slow start, threes up is actually ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like an unfavorable round as soon as I think Terra got the first headshot on outer. And the issue they ran with that smoke going inner was that they had nothing to block off any choke point outside, so they had to really rely on hitting their shots, and that they did. Professor Chaos just shut down the entire rotation, killing 2 people with the Tech 9 and in T-Con, and that's really what won them the round. I mean, sometimes it does come down to hitting the shots, and the issue for CLG Red is that they lost a T-side, they lost a round of the T-side pistol. These rounds are really precious. Every single one round could come back to haunt them in the second half.
So you heard that eagle coming in from Cutler, trying to spam above ladder. They have it stacked towards inner as well for CLG, and a trade comes through. And it's going to be threes up, of course, with the rifles, trying to execute down towards lower. PC spots another one towards the Z-shaped hallway, and Cutler gets the 1D on to Abe. And now they're just actually plowing over towards the inner bomb site. The bomb is now down as Stark was able to take down Jason R with the scout. So at least it's picked back up here, but they're going to have to recoup, and guns are now free, almost free for them to pick up.
I feel like they lacked a lot of explosiveness on that take. I mean, they invested a lot of money in having the weaponry that would win a round decisively, and are now down 2v4. I mean, low chances of winning this round. Little Man could get caught out of position here putting the smoke, but is actually not going to do it. Very wise of him in this situation, but this smoke will dissipate, and he's found a better spot.
Yeah, he has no backup right now. At least Wabbit is able to take down the scout at long range there at upper. They're trying to plow through, but then Finesse with the CZ. Only 12 bullets, gets the last 2, and just like that, it is tied 1-1. And one thing that's interesting as you're looking at stream right now, their coach is actually PETA coming in.
Yeah, that's PETA. The best kind of bread.
He did have experience actually carrying NIP to their first major victory, and now is behind the bench of CLG to try to bring them towards victory, moving on from Northern Arena to other events.
That's a huge momentum thief, losing the second round. I mean, winning the pistol almost isn't even worth it if you lose a second round, considering how much it takes away from you mentally, I feel like. And now 3-Step are actually on Glocks. I mean, we see a lot of European teams actually opt to buy if they get eco'd. Or forced, or lose versus a force, but it looks like they won't do it because they spent so much money that they gave up really good guns. JDM gonna have to get a couple kills and does that. And now it looks like the bomb will go down.
Yeah, that's all they wanted to do. At least they got the bomb plant. They went with no armor as well, just slightly upgraded pistols, and they managed to get 1 kill, but that is nothing too big because I think it was only a UMP in the hands of JDM that he was playing towards that pop dog. So still money in the bank right now for CLG because despite losing that second round for threes up, they actually lost 2 AK-47s out of that, which actually will help the economy a lot of CLG to build up on the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, JDM got those couple of kills. It looked grim for him, and then he ended up getting 2 after being at red HP. They managed to get the bomb down anyways, and that's allowed them to buy up with enough smokes here to do and execute. They're low on nades, but not on the smoke department, which is probably the most important part. And so they can play this round out slowly if they want to, but usually if you're low on utility, you want to do something relatively quickly. Because it's going to be, you know, the longer the round goes on, the less opportunities you have to fake, and the more the CTs have left over.
Yeah, and probably all they want to do as well is to work as a group towards inner, and look at that, a white P coming through from inner side. They're going to get spotted at least. I think they spotted the bomb at the same time
Yeah,
as well,
they did.
actually. Yeah, Arya's in Brown Halls. He was spotted. They're going to try to smoke it up and execute. So that's why you don't see them with an AWP, and that's fine if they're working as a group right now on T side. And they just want to capitalize on that. And this is actually great from FNS. Putting that incendiary grenade to give a chance right now for his teammates to maybe rotate across because they're only going to have to focus on upper ramp for now.
Here it is, the inner split, and Cutler gets a couple of picks for himself. FNS finds one as well, and he's looking for a second. No, Wabbit shuts him down, but there's Tarek on the cleanup. The rotator getting 2 frags on upper, and it looks like their inner takes are falling flat on their faces.
Yeah, well, you saw it. It's just that incendiary grenade that we just called. Putting it lower, you saw FNS look straight towards that upper entrance, and they just lined up and started peeking out one by one. As soon as the first spray came through, the last 2 guys was Wabbit, and I forgot who he was from Threes Up, but they were just lined up for easy pickings from CLG side. So
you know, I think they definitely learned a lesson from themselves and their explosiveness from the second round, and they picked up the pace, but they still just got mowed down. I mean,
yep. And there's that execute we're talking about here. All they want is another bomb plant coming through, but they actually haven't smoked out towards blue and reds, which is 5 and 6 train, which gives an easy chance right now for CLG to just pick them trying to cross over. So the idea was there. I think they should have just came out towards that ladder room instead of coming out towards T-Con.
yeah, they tried to smoke the bomb and the right side of it to make sure their ladder would be safe. And the bomb did get to bomb spot, but he ended up getting sprayed down. I mean, it's very common to plant there, and it's kind of just a Hail Mary since you're low on money to try and do that. And I know their inners haven't worked all that well, so it makes sense they tried something else.
Well, they'll try to go towards the outside. You saw Wabbit with that AWP. Jason R is getting the opener on to FNS. And they will try to work towards this outside bomb trade. And he'd already pushed up towards that bomb and also towards Ality. But quick double flank coming through as Little Man with the P90 finally opt down by Wabbit. And they are actually taking full control of this outside site. But quickly, Tarek, to support his team, it gets a triple kill, sorry. And Jason R is going to be the last man standing. And that was looking good for Threes Up to start this round here, Loners. But just like that, Tarek getting that triple kill.
I mean, somewhat, but CLG took the risk of pushing inner with 2 men.
Yeah.
They got that info early, and it looked like outer was super weak for a moment. And once Threes Up got outer, I think they were almost a little bit worried that they didn't actually see anyone. And little did they know the flank was so imminent. Professor Chaos actually got caught quick switching in the ladder and got taken down immediately. And that allowed CLG to win the round. I think once they were able to push and know that it wasn't going to be an inner hit, as people were pouring out of T-Con, they had so much confidence in winning that round that it just made it super easy. All you had to do is play passive outer and not let the bomb go down.
Now it's going to be another pistol. So it's pistol and guns every single round right now, but at least they have armor to move in with the Tech 9s. Webb is already spotted, but they once again, they decide not to execute quickly once they get spotted. So they hold towards that brown hole. There's an incendiary grenade that's happening towards that top to prevent them from moving any further. And it just gives another chance for CLG to just set up quietly towards the inner site and just line them up.
Yeah, I really like that CLG aren't going to let them plant, and they're playing too close up instead of way back and playing retake, though. It looks like if PC had the bomb, he would have been able to plant it, and I think that means that someone else will anyway.
Yeah.
Jason R and Wabbit actually holding it down. Arya gets a kill, too, and that's both down inner. It's actually 4v3 right now with the bomb down.
But Tark is still alive. He's going to spot this first one, and just like that, 2 more falling down in the hands of Little Man. Coming in from that Z-shaped hallway, so Arya on a 3 versus 1 just like that. And they're going to smoke it off. It should be the easy defuse coming through because that spray, not enough bullets now. He's pushed out, and that is it. He at least gets the kill onto Little Man, but good support from Tarek. And the bomb is going to get defused, and it's going to be 6-1 in favor of CLG Blue.
Well, that was a defusal without a kit. And
then a Steam library.
Yeah, that just threw me off. I won't lie, that threw me off. But they had 4v3, they had the bomb down, and then they kept pushing to try to make it 2v4, which would have just ended the round completely, and then CLG Red found 3 picks immediately, leaving Arya in a 1v1. I wonder if it would have been in their best interest to try to fall off to just their straight up after plant spots. They could run the risk of getting smoked out. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But you know, hindsight is 20/20.
So now FNS, he did spawn a few guys as well. So he's doing this every single round so far, just going for that body peek, try to get some information. But at the same time, his teammate, like you mentioned it before, Longers, they're playing very closely towards that B bomb site and preventing guys from actually pushing as a team or aggressively and take over that site or go further than the bomb train to try to overtake the Z side.
Well, CLG have been playing 3-2, which is fairly uncommon. I mean, typically you can rely on your solo man inner to get a kill or two, or you can play retake however you want, and leave the outside fortified. I mean, they're not playing anyone close up outside. That means that if they do a smoke execute outside, they should be able to. That it's 3-sub to get a bomb down, and it looks like that's their strategy this round. I wonder if it's going to work.
Well, you don't fix what ain't broken, so they're just comfortable with what they have in the current setup, and it seems to not be working for CLG's side so far. The good opener coming through, and Wabbit finally going with a nice flick over to Little Man, but immediately another flank comes through, and that gives a chance for FNS to get a double kill, and Abe's on a 2 versus 1. He walks through the smoke, but Tarek was waiting just at the old bomb train there.
I'm not sure if they were low on nades, but we didn't see a T-con smoke.
Nope. There was one for the site.
We didn't see a sandwich smoke to help them cross. We only saw a bomb site smoke and a left side of bomb site smoke, and I think that discouraged them from trying to push up to the point that they could help out their bomb planner and then also, you know, get to really favorable positions like Heaven and Hell. I don't know if that was a weakness in smokes.
And look how aggressively they pushed up, and they were only able to get 1 kill. And just like that, 4 of them fall simultaneously, and Professor Chaos gets flanked. That's another thing. Finesse, that's probably the 3rd time that he flanks aggressively. Maybe one round before was Little Man and Tari coming in from the ladder room, but they just aggressively rotate every single time. So by having that body peek, if they don't see anybody towards that lower ramp, then if they see the execute towards the outside, they can flank right away and get immediate 2-3 kills because everybody's just focusing on looking towards alleyway, towards Z. They need to have maybe one of those lurkers on T side to just watch that flank and then prevent that from happening.
One thing 3-sub haven't done yet is work Ivy almost at all. They left it completely uncontested, and you know, that is up to preference if you want to touch that, touch Ivy or not. But I feel like a lurk at some point, if they wanted to split outer and then send one late Ivy, would catch CLG off guard because they pretty much know that 3-sub aren't going to go there. So fact is right now they're worried about it because they haven't seen it, but at some point during an execute their attention might be taken away, but they still will rely on entries to come out. And here's one of the first times we see someone play close-up outer. That's Tarek. Now this is going to be like the better way to even defend outside, is to have someone trade out so that the outer retake isn't too hard.
Well, they're actually finally going to have somebody to rotate and lurk towards that alleyway. But Tarek, as you mentioned, that spot that he had at the entrance of ladder room, was able to get 2 kills there. Jason R able to capitalize back, running back actually to take down Tarek to avenge his teammates. So now it's a 3 versus 3. Make that a 3 versus 2 as FNS again on that quick flank. Nobody's watching it, so he's going to be able to come through now. But he still manages to lose that fight versus Professor Chaos. It's a 1 versus 1. They know exactly where each other are, so it's going to have to be that peak game, and it's going to be Cutler that wins it.
Honestly, CLG are doing such a great job of changing it up at all the right times. When they have pushed in there, no one has been there. They played 2-3 in all the situations that 3-sub have actually pushed outer, or pushed inner, excuse me. And when they've gone outer this last round, CLG on a previous round won it with a passive setup without allowing the bomb to go down. And this round had Tarek up close, caught them completely off guard and got 2 kills to open up the round. It did come close, all the way down to a 1v1, but ultimately, like from a 5v3 situation, it should have been CLG's round in the beginning.
So Finesse is going to try to do this. So we're pretty much max bonus money, right now. Max boner for 3-sub as actually they're just going to keep force buying, and this time it's going to be Cutler that gets the first kill now on to Professor Chaos. They utilize him a lot to try to get those entry kills, but so far he hasn't had much support to try to go for trades as well. So now it's a 9-1 score against 3-sub for CLG. And that smoke is going to prevent them from working down towards that inner bomb site. So looks like they're looking for that fake, actually, Launders, to maybe work out towards outside after.
It's really, really tough, especially down a man, to like sell a fake effectively, because you can go and like throw a smoke down the ramp, right? You know, spray some bullets through it. But if you don't commit anyone, and it looks like Arya is out, they will still rely on him to try to actually get a frag. I mean, he could take attention away, but oh, there he does. He does get one with the Tech 9. Traded out immediately, and now there's only 2 left. They're both outside.
Nice.
And it looks like Tarek actually got caught off guard.
Yeah, now it's a 2 versus 2. Things are looking good right now for 3-sub, but they still have that flanker down towards that ladder room. So they still have to play passively now for 3-sub, or patiently. They're actually going to try to go for that plant. Cutler on that flank, gets that kill and a second one, just like that. And it's always from that ladder room.
Yeah, it was an easy cleanup. Arya actually managed to get out into lower ramp. That held the rotates at the very least to keep in the 3-2 situation, and it was 4v5. They almost came back and won that, but then in the 2v2, you know, CLG looked dominant. I mean, Cutler got the 4K, and his kills came easy. So CLG right now are sitting on 16K on 2 players. 3-Sup have 1 round to their name. They've got enough money to buy here, and it's not over till it's over, but the issue is that they have 1 round. That round was the pistol. They don't have any confidence. They don't have any confidence about their rifle rounds, which is so important, right? They don't have a site that they know they can go to look back and say, this is how we won that round. It was on this site. Maybe we can do it again. They don't have that confidence. And so because there's only 2 sites, and they've been to them, I mean, they've definitely been to B just as many times as they've gone A. But it's like, where do you go now? How do you reinvent yourself?
Yeah.
And how do you catch a team off guard that's been catching you off guard all game?
Well, so far, you mentioned it. There's that ladder area that needs to be watched. They have to watch that flank. They push aggressively. It's always that body peek. They want to try to win that fight against. So it's basically very what Finesse does. It's peek with the body at the lower ramp. If he sees somebody, he's going to molly it. Try to win that fight against him. Then you're able to sell a better fake towards inner and then work towards that outside. But now as you execute for 3s up towards the outside after they're getting mollied, then Finesse is already going back for that flank towards that ladder room. Get that and maybe try to work more towards that alleyway as well. You mentioned it. I think we've only seen it once with Arya through all of the rounds so far on T side. And I think that could be a good opener for them to actually get some rounds back. I mean, it's 10-1 so far. It's still a CT-sided map, but at this point, it's just overconfidence coming in from CLG that just makes it a little bit harder for 3-Sup to get something done.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even call it just like perfect confidence because they're peaking, they're pushing, but they're picking all the right times to do it. I wouldn't be surprised to see CLG try to push Ivy at one point. I mean, that's almost free information on most of the rounds that they played, and I think that would be probably the best way for them to reinvent themselves, considering how much of a lead they have. Beyond
but
that,
at the same time, they never really needed to look back towards that alleyway because they had enough information from the ladder room. But not only that, the smokes that are being executed from 3's upside is they never smoke towards the between the trains to actually have force CLG Blue to look back towards other angles. They just look straight down the line. They get easy op shots from Cutler, but we'll see what's going to happen this time. We're looking at the all-red view. They're going to try to play a bit more aggressively towards the outside again, but still, nobody's playing alley. But at least to get the opening kill.
Yeah, their outer splits consist of maybe an inner fake and then 2 people out T-Con, and there's JDM getting that info at inner too. Oh, that's going to leave 3 players alive, and a lot of info for CLG, who can fall back completely passively. They still got an op in their hands. They've actually got 2. Tarek is holding down the outside with that, and it looks like a smoke is coming out from ladder. But it's only going to be a single one. I mean, it won't cover much, and that's the difficulty of Train. If you don't have a lot of money, it's hard to win a round on T-side. It's easy to get a plan, but it's hard to win the round. Yeah,
and after they threw that smoke, they knew that they were going to come out towards that ladder room. That is speaking about CLG against 3-Sup. So that incendiary grenade is going to force them to fall back again, but there's not much time left to work on the clock. Actually, it's cut off for me, but I think there's only...
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah. So 30 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to try to react a little bit more quickly here for T-side.
Used almost all their utility. Abe actually has a smoke. It's going to go right down inner. They're going to know what's going to happen here. FNS throws a great flash, and that's holding off everybody from 3-Sup. Though BC comes out and shoots his face off, and now JDM opping the side of the train. Will the bomb go down?
Well, we do have 12 seconds left on the clock. Cutler is still trying to hold down, and look at JDM lurking up. He gets the op kill, drops the bomb, and he looks up to get the kill onto Wabbit as well. And CLG are now up 11-1. It looked so well when they started the round here, but at the end of the day, they just couldn't find the lurkers inside that inner bomb site.
You know, playing inner there, FNS did all the right moves. He had the flash that came out at the right time.
Yeah.
He was standing in the perfect spot. He delayed long enough for his teammates to rotate, and then he got one-tapped. And then it was 3-Sup's round to lose, almost. I mean, they couldn't even get a bomb down. That's how much of a failure that was, honestly. I hate to put it that way, but ultimately, it did end up being that. Oh my goodness,
yeah,
and Cutler comes out with the help of Little Man to get 3 kills, and there's a 4th man, Jason R. Cleanup crew actually gets a frag, but there's one more in Ivy waiting for him. 360 won't be enough. CLG win the round.
I mean, they called that pause. They said, let's change things around a little bit there, but that gave a chance for CLG to change things as well. When they went for that double op setup, they went for spawns. So they already had JDM at that upper ramp to try to get information there. This time, they went for, okay, let's try to go for alleyway, but then CLG Blue was like, we pretty much know they're going to come alleyway this time. That boost was perfect to get that trip kill.
Yeah, I mean, the one time they play Ivy aggressively is the exact moment that we see 3-sub hit it, and that's another read from CLG that just ends up being the correct setup. And so, you know, as an IGL, when the other team is in your head like that, it can be so difficult, I feel like, to make yourself unpredictable, and that seems to be part of the problem for 3-sub. I mean, apart from that, though, I feel like their outer execute is a little bit weak. Obviously, they're using smokes that they know have worked in the past, but at the same time, I see, like, obvious holes in what they're doing, especially versus CLG and their setup. But, I mean, simply not smoking out T-Con, for example, it seems to bite them in the ass.
So now I finesse there. Spotted a few guys, went for that incendiary grenade, went for that smoke. That gave a chance for his teammate to rotate as well. You mentioned it. It's a little bit unorthodox to have this 3-2 setup. They actually went for that 4-1 to start, but FNS calling that out. They went for the rotate back from Z, and now they actually dropped the bomb here as their first kill in this round. So it's going to be full focus for CT side on the outside.
Abe looking to spray down this man in heaven, and he really wants to get this thorn out of his side, but he can't do it. The peek isn't given to him, and there it is. Tarek overextending a little bit, but this means Abe is the only man left with 20 HP, 1v2, and they really need the second round. I mean, this would be a hero play if he could do it. He has the Galil. He's going to jump over, and Little Man's going to clean it up. 13-1 is your scoreline, and again, 3-sub only have a pistol. Just a single pistol to their name and 1 round left to play with.
And they've always had these type of broken buys going on through this whole half. Even though with this bonus money, they just tried to get these forced buys. The Galils, I mean, they do a little bit of work, but they'll do what they need to do, especially is getting those rounds. I mean, they get the bomb plants. They don't really set up for post plants either. So at this point, you could see the look of disappointment, actually, from 3-sub side, and it's just getting sprayed all over. And nades are coming through. PC is just trying to get that peek out, but he's slowed down, actually, to help out his teammates. Abe's managing to come through. He's going to try to get this flank onto Tarek. Will be able to do so. So that's going to be a 3 versus 2 now. Nice turn by Abe to get another one. And just like that, Jason R is going to be the last man standing, but it's going to be Cutler that sweeps him up, and that's going to end the first half here. 14-1 for CLG.
What can you say? I mean, TLG were able to take advantage of the madness, and that was really what won them each round, throughout and throughout. I mean, versus the executes, they had the ideal flashes, they had the ideal rotations, they pushed at the correct moments. You know, there's 14 ones that are close, right? And then there are 14 ones like this where each round individually was really in one team's favor. And that's what we saw today with CLG. Tarek actually got 20 frags. I felt like Cutler was doing so much of the work there, but Tarek, low-key, was topping the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, it was all action towards the outside. We mentioned it. They didn't have that smokes coming through when they were trying to execute towards the outside, speed about 3s up. It was just easy pickings for Tarek there. And look at the scoreboard as well. You're looking at them, 20, 17, 11, and 14 respectively. And Little Man is at 9 at the bottom, but he didn't see that much action either. But when he did, he was able to get those double kills on that flank. He was able to get those that support with Cutler towards alleyway. So he's been a good stand-in so far in this matchup against 3-sub.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a hero play for 3-sub to be able to come back from this. Yeah, they get the CT side advantage, but they have lost 14 rounds to a team that just read them every single time they tried to do something. I mean, whether it was the early round or the mid-round, CLG seemed to know exactly what was going on. And with all that in mind, 3-sub have to do something, have to basically become a new team. They have to transform here in this half on top of winning this pistol. I mean, it's very far-fetched to believe they could do it, and I honestly don't believe I'll see it myself, but
Look how different the strategy is right now. Wabbit is inside ladder room. He sees one coming out towards that T-Con, but at the same time, they came out towards alleyway for CLG. And then look at that, Tara going for burst shots, 1 and 2, trying to go for a third one there as he spun on the top of the ladder room. It's going to be Arya, so he holds him back. Arya wins that fight, but the bomb gets planted. It's a 4-on-2 situation in favor of the T side of CLG, but at this point, it's pretty much game over here. One more remaining match point situation for CLG now versus 3-sub. That's amazing.
You know, this is where you would start thinking about the next map, but this is a best of 1.
Yep.
And it seems like 3-sub are just about to get 16-1 on LAN. By CLG. This would be a huge upset, I think. I wouldn't have expected the scoreline to be this steep in the favor of CLG. I expected quite a bit out of 3-sub considering CLG did have a stand-in, but I mean, T-side train is tough, and it looked like they weren't prepared. And
even the percentage that we had there on CSGO Lounge, 67-33. A lot of people had faith of how 3-sub were going to do in this matchup, but it's not working, and now it's just everybody's getting dropped single-handedly by CLG moving forward. Of course, you're buying whatever you can on 3s up, so you're going with full armor with pistols, and Professor Chaos is just going to try to jump up again. Great timing, actually. Gets the first kill, picks up the AK Cutler, almost whiffed all of his Glock shots. But finally, the last two guys have 25 HP combined here for 3s up. This is pretty much game over here. It's going to be a 61 scoreline. Arya falls down. Jason Arna now is the last man standing. He's got that 5-7. He's now spotted. And there you go. Seal the deal, 16-1 in favor of CLG.
Congratulations, CLG. I mean, they played fantastic. They sealed up that second pistol. Didn't give 3-up even a chance on the CT side to show what they could do on a rifle. They didn't bring it that far. And I mean, it's up to you on T side. The map isn't 14-1 CT sided, right? I mean, we've seen more often than not a team go positive on T side versus a very good team, and it does count on you being strategically prepared, and they weren't, and that's why they lost ultimately.
And you see that difference as well. I mean, the way that CLG actually utilized that alleyway to execute the pistol round, while everybody from 3s up had nobody outside. Actually, they had one push aggressively towards the ladder room, a few guys towards inner, but aside from that, no more commitment from 3s up to try to get more information in that. They basically counter-read them, speaking about CLG, because 3s up was expecting an inner push. So great plays there for CLG for this matchup. So that ends at 16-1. And that finally actually concludes our first match that we has it here in Northern Arena, Londers.
We did it, Reddit.
Yeah, we did it. We did it good.
PogChamp.